Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. We're going to be right back with this week's tech guest, but as always, we want to give a shout out to our great sponsors. You heard me say before, these are all companies that I used as an athletic director. They're all great companies. You should be using them too. So take 3 minutes, listen to our shout outs, then listen to our Tech Tuesday guest, and then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Snap Raise. If you've ever been disappointed in a fundraiser, those days are over. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school, tremendous success, and so will you. Go to their website, snapraise.com. Check out all their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it, and it's Snap Raise. We also want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and let their team turn you into a social media marketing guru. You know, your school is doing great stuff. Your athletic department is doing great stuff. And the Gipper team is going to show you how to post text, images, video, and graphics to Facebook, Instagram, and other social media accounts. And it's all going to be in your brand, your colors, your mascot. Go to Gipper.com and don't forget to mention the podcast. We also want to say thanks to Home Campus. Home Campus is the official high school sports administration software platform for a number of states and thousands of athletic directors. And even if your state uses a different platform, you can be a home campus school. I'm telling you, the athletic clearance and eligibility platform alone is a game changer. Go to homecampus.com to find out how to do it. That's homecampus.com. We also want to say thanks to our good friends at Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to show off your school record boards for all the teams or display your school's Hall of Fame, go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and take a look at their interactive touchscreen video consoles. You put one of their units in your gym lobby or your main school hallway, it's going to be a magnet for kids, for coaches. How about sponsors? Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and don't forget to mention the podcast. We also want to thank our friends at Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but as an AD, I made sure our school was a Huddle school. And our coaches, our athletes, even our parents just love the tools that Huddle provided. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users, and turn your school into a Huddle school. We want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. You've heard me say before, it's probably one of the best purchases I ever made. That's sidelineinteractive.com. We also want to say thanks to Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant athletic director, along with thousands of others, got his master's through the Ohio program, and while they were doing it, they also completed 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Go to Ohio University and check out their online masters in athletic administration. And we want to say thanks to Hometown. Hometown is changing the game for schools and organizations with their suite of solutions that includes things like, well, digital ticketing, but how about athletic website construction, fee-free fundraising, and a lot more. Whether you're an AD or principal, Hometown is going to help you save time, raise more money, and bring your community together. That's hometown.com. And we want to thank Athletic Surveys. If you're not using a survey to take the pulse of your coaches, your student athletes, how about your parents? You're really missing out. Go to Athletic Surveys and let them create a custom survey just for you. That'll let you hear from the squeaky wheel parents you already hear from, but also from the 98% of your stakeholders that support your program. And having that data is incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with that frustrated parent or maybe your principal, or how about even your school board. Like I said, go to athleticsurveys.com. Let them help you take your athletic program from good to great. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. We're staying in the podcast world today, and we're visiting with someone we call a friend of the show, Morgan Sullivan. Longtime listeners will recognize that name. Morgan is the director of athletics at West Liberty Salem High School. That's in Ohio. Um, has a tremendous background in athletics. He's a registered middle school athletic administrator, and he's got a big announcement that we're trying to, help spread the word. Morgan Sullivan, welcome back to the Educational AD Podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jake. It's an honor to be back on here.
We certainly enjoy visiting with you at the national conference. Again, Morgan was a guest on the podcast. If you missed that, go to our YouTube channel, put in Morgan Sullivan, and take a listen. Had some great tips in there, and those tips are, of course, included in the athletic director's toolbox. Morgan, before we jump into your announcement, let's go ahead and share a little bit about your background with some listeners who might have missed the first time around. So, as we like to say, what's your life story in 2 minutes?
Yeah, sure thing. So I grew up in a small farm town in southeastern Ohio, where I was working on the farm in the morning, going to school, and then hitting whatever sport was in season in the evening. Was life was about sports, whether it was at official practice or a game, or out in the yard with my younger brother, or whatever friends were around. So baseball, basketball, and football. That was pretty much life growing up. I played all those sports through high school, and then was fortunate enough to be able to play collegiate baseball at Heidelberg University under one of the best coaches that I've ever met, Matt Palm, and then joined the Army. Spent 20 years there, and then now I'm back in the sports world. So it's an honor every day to be able to influence somebody's sports life.
No, again, I just love to hear the stories. We should probably do a segment on those 20 years you spent in the Army, and
Yeah,
thank you for your service.
yeah,
Um,
thank you.
Real quick, I'm guessing you didn't jump right from the U.S. Army into your position at West Liberty. What were a couple of the stops that you had along the way that led to your current position?
Yeah, my Army life took me through quite a few parts of the country from Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Ohio, Michigan, state of Washington. Um, uh, Trips to vacations over in Iraq and Afghanistan. But the day that I retired from the Army was August 1st of 2022, and that's the exact day that I started my career as an AD. So really didn't take much time off.
Wow, I wanted. I'm going to stay on this point for a second because I find it very interesting. Take us into that room where you're interviewing with the principal, superintendent, whatever. And certainly you have sports experience. You played college baseball. Leadership skills to the max coming out of the Army. But what was that conversation like? How did you convince them? How did you sell yourself as someone with no AD experience that hey,
Yeah.
I'm the guy for this job?
Yeah, that was a really cool opportunity. I had not sit through any interviews, in an Army career, so it was a really new experience for me. And there was actually two different interviews. The first one was what I've referred to kind of as like a speed dating situation. They had, I think it was 14 of us. They narrowed it down to 14, and we sat down in our library media center at the school, and at one table there's four or five coaches around. I sit there, get a few questions, go up to the next table of four or five coaches. Did that at like six different tables, and it was really interesting to spend 4 or 5 minutes at those tables getting those questions thrown my way, and it was really rapid fire. It was kind of cool. And then after that, they narrowed it down to three of us, and then we were much more formal type of situation with a few coaches, all of the principals, and the superintendent, and that was much more focused on communication, leadership, and things like that. And with a background in coaching, at that time I had coached high school football and high school baseball, and in many different sports in the youth world. So that was the sports side that I got to talk about. And then many of the leadership lessons that I learned throughout the Army, working under some great leaders and mentors, I was able to communicate some of that experience from a conceptualized background and then as well as some very specific situational conversations. What would I do here? How would I handle this? Those sort of things. And somehow I convinced them that I was the guy, apparently.
Well, obviously they made the right choice because I get to follow you on Facebook, your posts, social media. You're doing a great job. So very cool. All right, let's
Thank
go
you.
and jump into this week's Tech Tuesday. I'm going to try to get out of the way, but I'll probably have a few questions. What is your big announcement?
Yeah, I have started a podcast, definitely not to try to rival yours, because I don't think I can do that at all right now. But talking with the AD is bred from the background of my website, betteryouthcoaching.com, and I've been managing that since 2016. And somewhere around 20 the winter and spring of 2020, which at that time, if we go back, everybody had plenty of time to sit on the computer. My website really took off. So there's a section there with a blog, and got quite a few comments and questions and conversations bred out of that on that website. And after 4 or 5 years of having conversations, developing friendships through that website, and answering questions and helping many youth sports parents navigate their child's youth sports life, uh, I was actually turned on to this by a couple friends that said I should start promoting those answers and those situations a little more on a broader scale. And through a couple conversations, we decided a podcast is probably the right way to do that. So I'm currently taking many of those questions and my answers to those questions and basing the podcast topics off of those situations and how those were handled. And hopefully I can spread some of that word a little broader using that podcast platform.
Oh, it sounds like a great idea. I guess, are you looking at ADs as your primary target? Is it parents? Is it just people that have an interest in sports, which could cover all of that?
Yeah, some of it will be AD related, but it's more along the lines of AD perspective, not necessarily with my limited experience as an athletic director. I'm just going into year 4. I don't know that I have a great deal to tell ADs, but if there's any way I can help, I surely want to. So some of it will be there along that line, but the majority of it is just general conversations that can improve the state of educational based athletics. That's really the centralized part of the mission statement of both betteryouthcoaching.com and talking with the AD is improving the state of education based athletics through the education of parents, players, and coaches. So anybody in the sports world, that's really who this is geared towards.
Yeah, we talk a lot about that athletic triangle of, AD, coach, parent, and then the student athlete is, in the middle of all of that. Um, you mentioned your website and the blog and the interaction that you've had through that. Do you see your podcast as are you going to be interviewing? Are you going to have guests? Are these going to be, your observations or sharing other people's observations? I think it's fascinating, and I want to find out more about it.
Yeah, I right now I haven't had any guests on at this time, but I do plan on that. Guests from parents that I've talked to that have navigated youth sports in a positive way, or have learned some lessons in hard way sometimes. Uh, Tenured coaches that can provide some education, some experience as well. Athletic directors, really anybody in the general educational based athletics world. I am definitely open to having guests on once I figure out the technical aspect of that. But I don't believe I have all the answers at all. I think I can hopefully leverage experience of others in the educational based athletic world, and we can help solve problems together.
Yeah, well, and again, I appreciate what you're saying. That you're new, let's say, 4 years as an AD, but again, those life experiences, you're a high school athlete, college athlete. We've already talked about, I just can't imagine the number of leadership experiences and opportunities that you had in a 20-year career, serving our country. You do have something to offer. And from my own perspective, we're going on into year 6 with the educational AD, and I've always tried. I don't think I've ever mentioned, maybe in a couple of the early episodes, I never mentioned, well, this is Jake Von Shear in the educational AD. I just introduce our guest. Okay. They don't need to know about me. That's about the guest. I'll certainly share an opinion here and there, but I've tried to stay away from saying, well, this is what I did as an AD for an entire
Mhm.
episode. But I actually got over the years, a number of people, Jake, we want to hear some of your ideas. So I've started the Monday Huddle.
Mhm.
We're just wrapping up 5 weeks of, concerns that parents have and how ADs can talk with parents. And it's based on stuff that I did, as an AD. So I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing, hey, this is a way to do it. It's not the only way. It might not even be the best way, but
Mhm.
as you have found and I found in my career, still find, um, there's a need out there for this type of information. Well, how can we do a better job? Whether you're a 40-year veteran or you just picked up the keys and the clipboard and just
Mhm.
starting, we need resources. And good for you for starting another one. Talking with the AD. Where can our listeners find this?
Talking with the ADs on just about all of the podcatchers out there from YouTube podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, quite a few others, iHeartRadio, and I don't even know all of them that are out there, but I did link it. So anywhere you listen to podcasts, you should be able to find this.
All right. Well, gosh, I'm definitely going to add it to, my listening menu on my podcast schedule, and looking forward to seeing this grow and adding, as you said, to the world of information in education-based athletics. If one of our listeners wanted to reach out and pick your brain, and listeners, Morgan is a tremendous resource. He's got some very cool ideas. He's doing some really cool stuff. Morgan, how do our listeners get a hold of you directly?
Uh, Send me an email, msullivan@wlstigers.org. That's my email at the school, or betteryouthcoaching.com. Click Ask the AD. You can get me on there as well.
Okay. Well, Morgan Sullivan, thanks so much for coming on our little podcast here. All the best in the future. Worst case, I'll look forward to seeing you in Tampa in December at the national conference. Come down to my state, and we're gonna have to get you back on the podcast to hear more about your journey.
Sure, sounds good. If I don't talk to you before, Jake, I'll see you in Tampa.
Okay. Well, thanks again. For our listeners, we want to say thanks to you. And just a reminder, we upload the Zoom recordings of every interview to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do Tech Tuesday just about every week, and just about every day, we try to share stories and best practices from the world of athletics. So come back and join us again on the next episode of the Educational AD Podcast. And don't forget to go and listen to Talking with the AD. As always, before we go, we do want to give a shout out to all of our great sponsors one more time. Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. You've heard me say before, probably the best purchase I ever made as an AD. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. I want to say thanks to Home Campus. It's a platform you're going to use every single day. Go to homecampus.com. Go to Gipper.com. Let their team turn you into a social media marketing expert for your athletic department. Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Check out their touchscreen platforms. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com. If you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it. Snap Raise. Go to snapraise.com. Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle. As an AD, we were a Huddle school. Go to huddle.com. Athletic surveys. If you're not using a survey to take the pulse of your program, you're missing out. Go to athleticsurveys.com. Ohio University and their online masters. If you have somebody that's looking for a master's in athletic administration, you need to check out Ohio University. And Hometown. It's more than just ticketing, but it's the best in ticketing. Go to hometown.com for more information. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast.